But I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank. And that included a place called Bank of America. They don't take conservative business. And I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
In a bold and fiery moment at the 2025 World Economic Forum in Davos, U.S. President Donald Trump took the global stage to address what he described as a growing and dangerous trend in the financial sector. Banks allegedly turning their backs on individuals and organizations because of their political and religious beliefs. Naming corporate giants J.P. Morgan and Bank of America, Trump accused these financial institutions of weaponizing their services against conservatives, fueling an already polarized debate about free speech, corporate responsibility, and the power of big business in America. Trump had directly addressed Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan as a part of his response to a question from the banking executive. After a powerful speech about his economic plans for the United States, particularly toward reversing the disastrous policies of the last 4 years, Trump elected to answer a few questions from a few executives at the conference. Moynihan asked President Trump how he hoped to balance his executive orders on issues like immigration and trade with bringing down inflation and fostering prosperity and market growth in the United States. In his usual clear and direct manner, President Trump addressed Moynihan's concerns, but added a parting shot, directly informing Moynihan that he and other banking executives like J.P. Morgan's Jamie Dimon are wrong for debanking conservatives because of their political and religious beliefs. Here is a clip of the exchange.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, and congratulations, and obviously an eventful week for you and your family. If you remember, 5 years ago, you came here and we walked among 150 CEOs from all over the world, and you engaged with them about your policies and your procedures. This year, you're not here, and yet this week was eventful from the orders that you mentioned earlier, literally a wave of orders coming out on immigration, on trade, and many other matters. And so, as a representative of the United States here, we got a lot of questions about what does all this mean and how would the president square this with his clear focus on growth, prosperity, market growth, stock market growth, a good bond market, and bringing down prices. So how do you think about the impact of all these orders and how fast they come out, and how you're going to balance them with that scorecard of being successful in both continuing GDP growth, bringing down inflation, and also having a good stock price appreciation for the American citizen?
Well, I think it's going to actually bring down inflation. It's going to bring up jobs. We're going to have a lot of jobs. We're going to have a lot of companies moving in. You know, Brian, we're at 21%. It was at 40%, and I got it down to 21%, the corporate tax. And now we're going to bring it down from 21 to 15% if, there's a big if you make your product in the U.S. So we're going to have the lowest, just about the lowest rate. It'll be, the 21 is on the low side worldwide. The 15 is about as low as it gets, and by far the lowest of a large country, a large, rich, powerful country, by far, not even a contest. So we're going to bring it down to 15% if you make your product in the USA. So that's going to create a tremendous buzz. We're also probably going back to the one-year deduction where we deduct, we did that originally, and that was amazing what the impact that had, the one-year deduction, which built up over a period of time, and then it expires. But we're going to go back to that when we do the renewal of the Trump tax plan. We have to get Democrats to approve it. But, if the Democrats didn't approve it, I don't know how they can survive with about a 45% tax increase, because that's what it would be. And so I think they're going to do. We've been working along with them pretty well. I think it's very hard for a political group to say, let's charge people 45% more. So I think we're in good shape, but we're actually doing a reduction for business and small businesses where you're going to bring it down to 15%, which is really something. And by the way, speaking of you, and you've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank, and that included a place called Bank of America. They don't take conservative business. And I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
After the president's cutting remarks, Moynihan deflected the issue and instead congratulated Trump on the U.S. hosting the Olympics in 2028. The banking executive could not, of course, provide an effective reply to President Trump's accusations because this is not the first time financial giants like Bank of America and J.P. Morgan have been called out for refusing to serve hard-working Americans. In May 2023, Republican attorneys general from 19 states wrote a letter to Jamie Dimon accusing J.P. Morgan of closing bank accounts and discriminating against customers due to their religious or political beliefs. The letter outlined allegations that J.P. Morgan Chase had canceled checking accounts for major organizations and posed screening questions related to religion and politics before considering account reinstatement. According to the attorneys general, J.P. Morgan abruptly closed the National Committee for Religious Freedoms (NCRF) checking account without prior notice, with the notification letter arriving only after the decision had been executed. The complaint further detailed that a bank employee informed the NCRF that their account could only be reinstated if the organization provided a list of its donors, the political candidates it intended to support. The bank's audacious attempt to condition essential banking services on a vague religious or political litmus test contradicts Chase's own anti-discrimination policies and, more importantly, undermines fundamental American values of fairness and equality, the letter's signatories stated. In a related development, treasurers from 14 Republican-led states had also written to J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon in March of the same year, raising similar concerns. J.P. Morgan faced additional criticism for declining to participate in the Viewpoint Diversity Score Business Index survey. The index evaluates companies based on their commitment to freedom of expression and freedom of religion in business practices, where J.P. Morgan scored only 15% in 2022. The letter also accused the bank of requesting that the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, disregard a proposal requiring it to disclose its policies on account closures. In response, a J.P. Morgan representative told the Wall Street Journal, "We have never and would never terminate a client relationship due to their political or religious affiliation." It has given a similar response to President Trump's more recent accusations. A spokesperson for J.P. Morgan said, "We do not close accounts due to religious or political affiliations, and did not in these cases. We follow the law and guidance from our regulators, and have long said there are problems with the current framework Washington must address. We welcome the opportunity to work with the new administration and Congress on ways to remove regulatory ambiguity while maintaining our country's ability to address financial crime." A Bank of America spokesperson said, "We welcome conservatives. We are required to follow extensive government rules and regulations that sometimes result in decisions to exit client relationships. We never close accounts for political reasons and don't have a political litmus test. However, it's clear that both organizations are only trying to get on the good side of the new administration. After all, in 2021, J.P. Morgan's online payment service provider, WePay, had directly refused to do business with a conservative group until it got called out. WePay, a subsidiary of J.P. Morgan Chase, declined to provide ticket payment processing services for the Defense of Liberty Organization's event featuring Donald Trump Jr., citing its terms of service. The terms prohibit serving entities that promote hate, violence, racial intolerance, terrorism, or the financial exploitation of a crime. In response, the then Missouri Treasurer Scott Fitzpatrick accused the bank of ideological discrimination, claiming there was no evidence of a policy violation. He further threatened to cease all state business with J.P. Morgan Chase. "We won't be doing business with any bank in the state treasurer's office that chooses to discriminate against essentially half the population," Fitzpatrick stated during an appearance on Tucker Carlson Tonight. The controversy prompted J.P. Morgan Chase to reverse course the following day. "After further review, we determined that this organization didn't violate the terms of service, and we are reaching out to the client to discuss reinstating the account," a spokesperson for J.P. Morgan Chase said in a statement. No explanation had been given for the initial refusal or the sudden reversal, just that it was a mistake. This is the largest bank in the United States that has taken billions of dollars in taxpayer bailouts, refusing to serve the same taxpayers based on their religious and political beliefs, which it initially tagged as promoting hate, The only thing promoting hate is JP Morgan and other banks refusing to serve hardworking Americans while celebrating many other stupid and un-American policies in the name of its terms of service. The same terms of service it had blatantly refused to disclose to the SEC when required. Americans are endowed with the God-given rights to free speech and religious freedom, as guaranteed by the Bill of Rights. These rights form the cornerstone of our democracy, and all Americans expect that both the government and powerful corporations will respect and uphold them. No one should ever have to fear being denied services or censored by a financial institution or tech company. That's why organizations like JP Morgan, PayPal, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and others must be mandated to uphold the principles of fairness. Protecting these rights is not just a legal obligation, but a moral imperative that ensures the preservation of our shared values and freedoms. While the Joe Biden administration might have allowed and even encouraged these discriminatory policies, this is a new dawn for America and Americans. President Trump's remarks at the Davos conference, as well as many of his actions since his inauguration, communicate this powerful message effectively. It is a new era, and everyone better fall in line or get left behind. No longer will hardworking Americans be treated like second-class citizens, while others, including illegal immigrants, get special treatment. Please share your thoughts, comments, and observations in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want more like this, please support our channel by sharing it with others. Also, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications bell for more videos like this.